drinking my sulfur drink. All right, let's. We're going to play some SinTopia today. We're going to sort of just go back into the challenge mode, which is the campaign sort of goes through a story, which is actually pretty cool. It introduces concepts to you over time. But the challenge mode is really, I think, where the heart and soul of the game is. There's a lot of randomization with that one. I think I finished one of those. Yeah, so I'm playing with just on the default. I'll just see if I've got anything else down that way. Unfortunately, you do have to sort of start from scratch. Yeah, and I'm only playing on the default profile at this stage. So I'm halfway through the campaign with this one, and challenge 0. I thought I'd actually done some. Anyway, let's go back in. I thought I'd sort of already gotten ahead a little bit. Just got a new mandate. Oh, sure I had. Yeah, no, I don't. I don't have any. Wow. In that case, it's funny because I thought in my head, I thought I'd actually already started to work my way through this. So I think anything with a smallish number of prestige points here is going to be easier than anything else, even just without even sort of really sort of looking at anything else through there. So in this case, for this, and these are random, which is really cool. This is such a cool idea. So we've got terminate humus. Humus are sort of like the humans on the Overworld. So we need to terminate 300 of those. Humans can die pretty much of anything. Any means will count except for old age. So that's interesting. So we do need to create havoc. So again, everything has got like different focuses. So that when you play the game, it's not just play it to do a certain thing. It's actually going to be playing it to do something different every single time, which is very, very cool. And we do need these points. Oh, God, it's funny. I really thought, you know what it might be? It might have been reset. No, actually, the campaign's still there. Strange. That's really strange. Anyway, we need to get these prestige points to then be able to re-roll. There's a few things we actually end up buying with these prestige points. So let's just go with this simple one through here, I think. Other ones we have is to earn heroes, which is in this case, we have to really cleanse the souls when they're in hell, and then let them go up when they're, and that's going to be hard to do. 450 heroes is a lot of really, really extremely cleansed souls to sort of get back through there. And then finally we have earning Purga dollars 1,500,000. That's a hell of a lot as well. So these would take a long, long time. But anyway, 300 humus, that shouldn't be too difficult for us to do. We can do that in all sorts of different ways. We can terminate them in all sorts of dire positions. I think the first thing will be to try to build them up and then to destroy them. So secondary objectives, Have Harvesters, I don't know what that is. So harvesters gather food in farms and fisheries. Most balanced rulers will want some harvesters. Oh, it's Have. I was reading it as Have. What am I doing? It should just say harvesters. Want some harvesters in their population, but some favour them more than others. Now, why would you have 50? Seems like a hell of a lot. Oh, that's the actual. That's a type of humu that it actually is. So, hi, Ouchcube, how you going? Been 4 years since I've imbibed your wisdom. There we are. Welcome. And then we've got to destroy humu buildings. 5 of them we have to destroy. That should be fairly easy. So these can be destroyed by collisions, fire, or hostile attacks. Really not a problem there at all. But in this case, all we're really going to be doing is just letting the world run rampant a little bit. So we're going to try to promote them initially, just to get all these other things. And then we've got crush humus. And so humus who die from collision with a building, terrain, rubble. Yeah, another really easy one. So that's good. We've got now we've got random worlds in through here. So this is the Misty Mountain. There's actually what I've been doing is I've been trying to go through the campaign to unlock the various terrains that we end up having. And it's funny because the terrain is random to a degree of the elements on it, but the map itself, the actual topology of the map is not random, but where things actually end up is, which is, again, quite nice. Modifiers, in this case, we've got one that's Omens of Wrath, so plus 75% Humu Wrath generation. So Wrath will become something that's going to be needing to be, either used or going against. Hi, Quark, how you going? and then we've just got difficulty on normal. So I can change different things up, like depending on what I do. If I just go back out again, if I go into sandbox, you'll see what I mean. Like when I go back into here, this is actually this is all of the, I guess, the parameters of the map. They've got the world, then they've got the layout of the world, like actually how the world is then constructed, the modifiers of the world, and then the role models, which we don't have any at this stage because we don't actually have any points we can then go and do. And then you've got your difficulty settings, which is a multiplier of how many points you get. So I'll just finish off this sulfur drink, which I don't mind. It doesn't taste too bad, but it's sort of I'm not supposed to like it, but I do. Now these things in through here, where you can go to just like a vanilla preset. You've got zombie apocalypse. This is like the humus can become zombies. This is going to be a good way for us to end up getting lots and lots of dead bodies. We won't have to do much. Ultimately, we just have to sort of manage a bit of mismanagement, and then we should be okay. So Star Mage is saying this game reminds me a lot of old Black and White or Settlers or Dungeon Keeper. Yeah, it's pretty much all of that. It's Dungeon Keeper not so much, but it really is a great, like, the combination of genres is unbelievable in this game. Volatile Magic. You've got all these different things for the sandbox mode, but the world you've got like different worlds from small. Now we're playing with Misty Mountain in the one that we're going to be playing, but there's also Secret Pond, Volcano I think is one that I unlocked. In medium we've got Arcadian, Frostvale. I've unlocked Confluence, and I've also unlocked Deadlands as well. So as you play through the through your campaign, you then end up unlocking these. So I will be wanting to unlock those at some point, but we'll go back and earn ourselves some other things. Now, actually, what's that? That's role models. I'll just go back out again and just... so the layout is actually what the probabilities are for different types of elements on the map as well, like different sort of, like, I guess, things that will hurt the humus that you end up having. And in Hell as well, we then actually have different random things that can happen in there as well. And even these maps that we're playing, even for the challenge mode, are still got all this stuff randomized, which is, again, very, very nice. Next thing is the modifiers. Modifiers, you'll see that we've got the Wrath one, so the Omens of Wrath. This is the one that we're going to be playing with through this other side. And so we've got things like where the humus can have different modifiers. There's heaps and heaps of them. Anyway, that's, again, a lot to muck around with. And they all change the game in quite a big way. And then the role models, these are sort of like gods that you end up sort of having access to. And initially we have like Mammon, Satan, and Lily, but we don't actually have the others yet. So as we unlock things, so as we unlock, we then need to, we need to get the points essentially to unlock more and more of those. All right, let's just go back to our challenge mode, and we'll just start that particular one. So we'll just go back into the new mandate. And when you start a game, that can be random. Like if I start up a new, I'm guessing it'll be different. Actually, that's one thing I haven't really tested. Let's just go back in and create a new one. We'll just call this one Dump because I don't want to save it. Trainee experience, I know my job. So we'll just go straight in. If we go into challenge mode in here, new mandate, is it the same for the first turn? Because I know it randomizes after this. Oh, it is the same. Yeah, okay, that's the same in this case. So we can re-roll ultimately, but so that's, I won't worry about that one there. I'll just go and dump this one. Confirm. All right, so we'll just go back to default. And we'll go to challenge. New mandate. It's funny, I thought that they were, like from when I was testing the game, they seemed different, but I was clicking on all sorts of things back then. So Crux saying lots of dead bodies as you do, yes. Star Mage is saying third had Pergodollars, 2 million instead of 1.4. Oh, did it? Okay. Yeah, so it's slightly changed, slightly different, but not too much. It does randomly get quite all over the place, ultimately. But let's do this one here where we have to ultimately kill the humus. So we'll pick this one here. This is the simplest of them. You may tune to the power of your predecessors to unlock and use boons that change the game rules in sometimes extreme ways. Got it. Now, this is the entities that we actually then have, where we can bring in a different role model. So browse the different role models, and so I'll just click on got it. So I can actually go and bring these in. Now, I didn't think I could because I thought it was going to cost me a little bit. So each role model offers 6 different boons. These cost prestige points relative to their quality tier. So you can see that everything is unlocked. Sorry, everything is locked except for the bottom one at the moment. Got it. So assign boons. We just assign them into, again, things that we've unlocked. I'll just quickly go and click on this one. Each boon becomes the positive and negative effect. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. So let's go and have a look at these. We've only got 3 we can choose from at the start. So money laundering, so trades the restroom for impish resources and favours rulers with a merchant focus. I'm not really interested in that one. So Mammon is not the god that we want. If we go to Satan, Satan looks to be exactly what we want. Wrath, destructive magic, and war. So this is exactly who we're going to be wanting to have, I think. And the only mandate we can actually have is arms race. So trades the Hellpet show for zap and favours rulers with a soldier focus. So this one, the Hellpet show. This is going to be ultimately probably the one that we want, but that's a big trade-off to sell off that Hellpet show. The Hellpet show gives us the resources we need for zap. So it's going to be harder for us to do the zap, but we're going to do more with it. So I think that's going to be the one. We also have Lilith as well, who is more about lust. So she is or Lily. She trades force push for hell tunes and favours balanced rulers. Yeah, okay. Let's go back in and so that's what she has there. If we just go back into here, what's the next one? Wrath absorption. So punishing Wrath earns you faith coins, but humans are more vulnerable to the sin. So as we start to unlock things, the more we play it, let's just go and drag that one in. So that's now going to fundamentally change the game. So the Hellpet show is now going to be gone. But Zap is going to allow us to kill off humus and buildings actually a lot faster. But we now have a different requirement to get faith coins. So we'll start this mandate. Such a cool game. It's so well done, this one. Quark saying, Satan is what we want, unfollowing. There we are. In this instance, Satan is just one of the fallen guys. Now, we are sort of outside of where we are. If I just press pause, I think we're already paused anyway. Oh, no, we're not. So this is so we have the above world where it's a god game, and we have hell where it's actually a tycoon game. So let's have a quick look around and see what we've got in the above world. So I have actually paused this, and at the moment this is so the objectives are to have harvesters. We need to get 50. We've got 8 people so far that are harvesters. So it'd be nice to knock that one out of the way early, and that would be to get a king or queen that sort of favours that. Would be nice. Destroy the Humu buildings. We're going to be able to do that at any old time. That will just happen automatically. And then crushing Humus as well. That's going to be something we will ultimately be able to do. So we don't really need to worry about that one so much. This is the village square, so we can sort of have a bit of a look around at the Humus. So these are they just go around there about their standard old what they do. Now this is interesting. We've got a couple of cultists already, so we start off with 3. That's nice. In the other runs that I've done, we didn't actually have any, so that was it's nice to start with 3. What the cultists do, this is actually going to be our path to victory, is to have as many cultists as we possibly can, because they're going to ultimately then be the soldiers that we have that we can then use directly on the actual map itself. So we'll come back and have a look at those in just a minute. The ruler menu, if we don't actually know who it is, so this is going to be Achilles Gawker Lover. So if we go back and have a look and see who that is, this is our king, our next king coming through, aspirant king. So we don't know much about him. His alterations are wrath resistance, -75, so he's going to be open to wrath, but doesn't mean he's going to be a wrathful person. We don't know what his what he actually wants just yet. So maybe we'll just follow him initially and just watch. So what he's going to do is he's going to wander up to the temple. We don't have to rush anything because we don't actually have any souls yet. There's no souls in hell. Once that starts, we've got four souls in the cemetery. Now, in the very, very start of the game, we can just let things sort of do their own stuff. Now, he's going to pull out the scepter and become the king. There he is. Right. So we now have the king, where we can. I'll just pause this and we'll have a look and see. It looks like he is a wrathful. He's an anxious patriot. So personality in through here, the ruler's personality determines what type of buildings. So anxious patriot is security of the people is paramount for it to thrive. Okay, well he's going to be building up military. So he's very focused on getting a life path of a soldier, and also the life path of doctors to heal people up. Initially, I don't mind that. Let's get things sort of thumping along fairly well before we start to destroy it. His weaknesses, he's not really into building, he's not really into merchants, he's not really into priests. So that means that we possibly will end up with zombies. Like if we can build up a big population and then start to kill things off, we'll end up with zombies that will actually end up sort of winning the game for us, I think. So, because they'll end up sort of doing lots and lots of damage. Back into here, we've got your warmongering back in that side. Yep, so that's fine. So that's actually, now that's going to be good for us as well, because what it will do is it will then promote. Now at the moment in the village, we've got a, like this is a ranger tower. So we've got some rangers, and they're off starting to look around and scouting around the different areas. So we've got some rangers out that way. We've got some points of interest in through here. This is like a power shrine, which is going to give us Rockalicious. That will then give us the crush damage that we need. So I'm going to be able to just use that just to get that one. They'll pick this one up very, very quickly. Over through here we have a warg lair, just only a level 1. So the soldiers will get rid of that one soon enough. And then back up in here we have a war camp as well, only level 2. So eventually they will be destroyed once we start to build things up. Nothing is on that particular location. These are all locations we can build into ultimately. We have our food over through here with the farm. And then we've got our cemetery in through here with the 4 souls. Now looks like the bus has just arrived. It's going to then pick up those souls and take it to hell. So I think what we'll do is we'll now go to hell. Actually, let's have a quick look and see who the cultists actually are. Now the cultists, this is the activity that we actually have for them. At night time, they become active, and then they go and do what we tell them to go and do. And so we've got Overworld summary. Now we've got locate believers, and then we've got cultists through there. So we have 1 believer. So we need to get more of these. If I go and have a look at them. Well, that's the king. The king is a believer. The cultists themselves, we've got 1 of them over here. Another one still part of the rangers. And then we've got someone working in the farms as well. So there are our 3 cultists. We can just set up what they're going to be doing at night time. So these are the different things we can then go and do. Now, as we get more of them, like when we get 10 cultists, we can then sort of go and do this one where I don't even know what it is, to be honest. But this is the stuff. We can either have them do nothing, where they just basically sort of don't really do much at all. Cult advertising, what this one does is they visit houses, increase influence. This is how we get more cult members, and we're going to be wanting a lot of cult members in this run. We've got Dark Procession, which generate faith coins at the administrator's altar. This will be important to us, actually, because this is how we're going to ultimately then use the zap spell that we have, because we sort of use Satan. But you can see there the actual does 60 damage, but it's actually 20 faith coins. So every time I use it, it's going to I need to somehow earn 20 faith coins back. And because I don't actually have the Hell Puppet show in hell, I'm not going to be able to get faith coins that way. I'm going to have to find other ways to get the faith coins. And so the cultists, ultimately, that will be an important one for us to make use of that. We also have double shift as well, where they can actually then try to help out and get food, etc. But that's the one that we want. Cult advertising is exactly what we need for them to be doing of a night time. So that's the cultists. We've gone all through these. That's the Sinometer, which is nothing at this stage. Right, let's go to Hell. We'll actually manage Hell properly initially until we actually build everything up. So let's just go back across into Hell. So we're now under here, this is where the bus is going to be then arriving. And so what we need to do is we ultimately then need to process the souls when they sort of come back through here. And what have we got in this hellscape that we have? We can earn Purga dollars through there if we end up with them wandering off. Have a quick look through each of these. If actually initially we're just going to be wanting to go straight through. So when they come out, we might sort of send them off this way. Now what's that there? This is corrupt fields. So souls working on a corruption tile gain envy. So this one is an envy tile. So we can actually walk souls through here to pick up envy for whatever reason. That could be a really interesting little loop that we end up sort of down this way with that one there. This is where they then have to ascend back to the Overworld. If they walk along the edge of these areas, they move quickly because it's scary walking near the lava. Yeah, and then if we come back across, these are areas we can then go and buy, which we've got 9,000 at this stage. This first one's going to be 5,000, and we've got a leprechaun station through here. So increase the Purga dollars production of buildings within range. So plus 50% Purga dollars. Now, we get Purga dollars by processing souls. I don't know if I bother with that one at this stage. And then back over here, we've got another 5,000. What is that building? That's a museum, I think. Yeah, this is actually more for the, not so much for the souls, but for other things. And that's, to get to that one, we can't go that way. We're going to have to go back out here to go and make use of this if we were going to bother with that area. So I don't see us getting this one at all. I'd maybe get this one. Actually, what have we got there? So this is a super administrative black hole. Which is the upkeep of buildings and employees within range. Well, that's actually not bad. Like when you look at the combination of both of those, the only problem is that we end up, we're going to need to end up processing the souls. Now, the closer we end up doing our basic processing, the better. So we'll try to run this thing properly initially, and then sort of tweak it after that one. Just read a few of the comments again. So, so Starmage is saying, I wonder if Humus can be renamed for Daz. They can, but I'm not sure how I can manage it, because I mean they die all the time, and I won't know. They won't tell me. But yes, they can. I can actually rename them. And I was thinking, how can I actually make it into DasDemption? I mean, it's because it's just the soul is named. And so you've got the Humus, it's their soul that is the, and it stays with them the whole time. So even when they die, they come back into here. I'm not sure how we can actually go and do that to make it so that it becomes a good DasDemption side of things. But probably hard to track with them reborn as random jobs. Well, no, you can keep track of them pretty easily if they are named. Let's open it up. So let's go and do let's make it a DasDemption game in that case. So if anyone does want to have redeemed souls, if you're watching on Twitch, just redeem some points, and I'll put you in the soul list. I'll try to give you interesting characters like the king and stuff like that, and then that way we'll definitely know when the king goes. And maybe the cultists, I could sort of have them as and what I don't know if I should be banning every time they die. Yeah, maybe you should be. Yeah, I'll just make it I'll make it, well, a half an hour ban. That's enough. So Officer Hot Pants is saying, is this like a spiritual successor to Afterlife, or is it more like the same concept, different gameplay? It's very, very different. There we go. Falcons is redeemed one. So Falcons can be the king in that case. So it's actually, this is The game is a tycoon game when we play in Hell, and it's a god game when we play on the Overworld. And so it's really the genre. The difference in the genres is unbelievably good. Like it's so polished. It's just phenomenal. How's it different? Our characters always intentionally get ended by Daz. Yeah, well, that's very true, I guess. So let's go back to the characters. So if we go and have a look at the this is a Sinometer. Actually, I can do it a different way. This I've got the management in through this other side. If I go back up to stats, so these are all of the these are all the humus, then the soul list that we actually end up having through here. And so I can go through and actually see, who's doing what. So we've got Achilles Gawker Lover. So this will be, so I think I can rename them. Funny, I thought I could. Yeah, we can star them. Yes, actually that's a good point. So Private Joe is, hang on, just before, oh, here we go. There it is, rename. So this is going to be, okay, so we've got Falcons. Done. So Falcons is currently the king, but maybe not for long. So the way it works is you've got all these different sins, and so they accrue these through their lifetime, through their actions, what they do, what they're impacted by. So they get these, and the idea is that you sort of are supposed to then cleanse those sins when they reach the hell. So the hell is about redemption. It's not about it's punishment, but it's punishment for redemption, not punishment for the sake of punishment. So it's sort of got got a different aspect of it. It's just getting the cells ready for reincarnation. Private Joe saying, I played the test, the king is not going to last long. Well, like often they will, to be honest. Like they'll often last a fair amount of time. Let's just, so we've got Falcons in there. Let's just go back to our list. So now we've got cult members. So I'll start to give you guys cult members. This one's Wrathful as well. This is the current, Wrath is going to be the main one that they end up having. So we've got Private Joe in through here. Actually, I can just star these as we go, and then we'll just go back to the cultists, get all of the cultists if we can. Why they were, the stars stay at the top, okay. Alright. So Falcons is in there. It's a shame I can't just rename them here. Right, so you can have this one here. So this will be Private Joe. Alright, done. So you're one of the cultists. There's also Wrathful. Wow, that one's actually extremely affects me on a wrath. This humus gains from various sources. So we've got from the ruler's personality. Oh, and then the modifier. So everyone's going to be picking up wrath. So we're going to be able to make a lot of money out of wrath, basically. So as we process that in hell, so everyone's going to be suffering from the same afflictions, and so wrath is going to go through the ceiling here. Now I will kill off units initially that become too wrathful if I deem them to be dangerous for the game. So we will so just be aware that if you have a named character, I won't be discerning from those different sorts of things. So Private Joe, just go and star that one up through there. We get Falcons in there as well. So it looks like the starred ones stay at the top. And this is a way we can actually, even if I miss anything, it won't matter, because every time they die and go through a cycle, if I haven't banned someone and they're on one, I know that I've missed a ban. So I can always come back and retrospectively ban people. So isn't that fun? We'll just go this one here. So this is going to be Quark, one of the rangers. Now Quark is of course going to be killed fairly early because he's one of the advanced archers going off hunting wargs. So we should expect him to suffer pretty badly, but he is a cult member, so I really don't want him to die. So he's actually an important one for us. You can see there, this is the influence. They are full-blown believers in us, essentially. So we'll just have a quick look through there. So Quark is also... Now I've got another star. We've still got one more cultist, if anyone does want this other cultist. This one's a glutton cultist at this stage. So, hi orangutans, how you going? There we go, Star Mage has got that one. So this is going to be Lucian. And Lucian is just sitting back. Clever farts. Star Mage, there we are. So we've got that one there. Done. Just double check, put that one on there. So that way we'll now keep track of the starred humus as they sort of move forward. Every night we get more. It's not just through resurrection. We also generate new souls as well every night through the actual like the town folk. Well, shabonk is what they call it in the game, and sort of impregnate each other, and then actually end up with an influx of new humus every morning. So it's based on this timer here. So that we're in the first day. That's the day cycle number 1. We're in the morning, we get to noon, and then there's some events that happen at noon as well. So at noon, humus eat if there's enough food in the stockpiles. Humus that can't develop an unhealthy relationship to food gain a burst of gluttony and losing a maximum health. So they do get gluttonous. So these are all the 7 deadly sins that we end up sort of seeing. At night time, we end up with other dusk events. So they go home and shaboink to increase the birth rate. So soldiers and rangers don't go home at night, while cultists start their elected night activity. Now what will happen is they will have to build a building hall, a builder's hall at some point to go off and do other things. Now I do actually have I've still got Zap, and I also have this Force Push. The Zap is going to be very, very good for us to control certain things on the Overworld. So these are used up in here, where I don't directly influence the game. So all I can really do is just use these spells to influence certain things, but I can't directly say, hey, you guys, I can't marquee select and tell them to wander off in a certain direction. Well, let's go back to Hell and just set up now for what we need to do. So ideally what I want to be doing is essentially either processing early and then do another process at the end here. I want to earn what's called heroes. So these are going to they're used to unlock technology. So we want to unlock the technologies as we go. If we have a bit of a look at this one through here, we have the so this is all the different things we actually have. We've got administration through this other side. There's nothing much in here that we really need just yet. Through this one through here, we've got the Soul Road, Soul Dispatcher, Imp Road. Nothing else in there that we really need badly. So these all cost heroes, all of these different things. We're definitely going to be needing to get heroes to start to get this one here. And the one that we're going to be really needing to get early is going to be the Wrathologist for 5 heroes. So we definitely need to get that one fairly soon. We do have the Omnisin Doctor. And in this case, we've got the Motivation and Fear, Humanitarian. We don't have that one. That's all locked at this stage. And Hell Puppet Show. Oh, we can still get it for 5. All right, so even though we don't actually have it, we will be wanting to get this one for 5 as well. This one generates a small amount of faith coins for each work cycle. And so we'll need that for our for generating the what we need to sort of then push these things through. So these are 10 heroes, these are 25. So we need a lot of them. To get that, what we need to do is we need to have souls leave and go back with very minimal sin in them. So they need to be sort of under 50, I think, in total. Initially, it's really easy, but it gets harder and harder. So what I want to do here is probably set up over here, I think, and we'll set up our essentially a cleansing station. So I can always place things down and then move them around. So these are the different buildings that I end up having. So I've got like the soul punishment buildings. At the moment, I've only got the Doctor. And so what this one does is it generates, it cleanses sins and gives me what's called purgadollars, these things in through here. And so that will then sort of generate those. It cost me 400 to sort of bring that one in. I need to have an imp running the show there. And so this is like where we go into the management game. Now, ultimately, 3 is a good start, 2 at minimum, but plan for 3. So I'm going to plan these to, I need to have a little bit of space around them, but if I go and set up, now I don't know why that is, looks like it sort of doesn't like want to sort of be doing different things, but if we go back, like if I just place one of them there maybe, I'll put 2 in, but I'll sort of leave enough space for another, for one in the middle, just so I've got everything sort of set up. So if I go and place that one there, that's going to allow me to sort of run these guys through. And so if we have a look and see, with those 2 selected, I can put a third one in between them. I've left enough space for that. Tenra is saying, where do the purga dollars come from? These come from cleansing sins in these buildings. These ones are just general sins. Once those sins reach a certain level, and we're going to see this with wrath, we can no longer cleanse those sins. And so we end up with what's called deviance. And deviance we have to cleanse a different way. But the standard, initially it's not really a problem. Now, one thing we're going to be wanting to do is to have, of course, the a bit of like a road that sort of then comes back through. So we'll just go back into roads. The soul road is where the souls go from. So I'm just going to go and place them out a little bit. It's just going to tell me that it's not quite connected up. It's not going to be a problem. So we're going to have, this is going to be the way in. So I'll just make sure we've got everything pointing the right way. So it needs to sort of go, oh God, what have I done here? Actually, I need to set up a different way. So I'm going to have an area where a waiting list goes into this particular area as well. Initially, we don't need to do it, but we will have to do it fairly early on. So I might as well just get it out of the way. So if I go back into the logistics, you can see I've got a waiting line. So special roads that must be connected to a waiting booth. It just means that these end up being processed a little bit easier, a little bit better. And so I'm going to ultimately, sorry, I'll just get back to there again. So we've got the waiting line in through here. So special roads which are connected to a waiting booth to work. So I'm going to actually, I might just put down the waiting booth to start with. So if I go back across into here, where we've got soul processing, just the waiting booth. So the waiting booth, I'm going to have it sort of snake from, well, I'll have it come in off this area and then sort of process from there, I think. Yeah, that should do it. If I want to do it there, I'll have it come in there, I think. I'm just, again, I can always change it. Oh, hang on, I've got it around the wrong way. Have I? Just trying to think of which way I should do it. If I go and grab it, I can then just go and pick it up. So I do want to have it sort of come in and, yeah, not have too much of a waiting list going back into the others. So in that case, I'll just place it here for now. And then the waiting list itself, I'll then have it go back off this way, up this way, and that will be a long enough list there. The road that then has to go back through. Now the direction of the roads is important. So with the soul road, I'm just going to go and place that one there. Now this is going off in both directions. And that's what I need. I need it to sort of hit there, and then they're going to equally split up at that point in time. Now we're also going to have the other one in the middle there. So I'll leave them where they are. And so the waiting list, she won't let anything through until these guys are ready to accept another soul, and then she'll allocate the souls back off in that direction. What we're going to do now is it's going to end up with the soul road. I'll just get a soul road built. Now what I want to do is I want the souls moving as fast as possible. So I'm just going to go and build the road initially. I've got other ways of doing this, but I'm going to just come straight down. I want to join up over here, really, I think. So let's go and get that one down to there. This is going to be slow moving until they get to this point and through here. And so now they're moving next to this dangerous location, which means that they will move quickly. So this is scary for the souls to walk along, but it's going to push them along fast. And again, as long as the arrows are all pointing in the right direction, so getting that direction is important. Oops, hang on. Need to keep on going. Hi, Vegan, how you going? Sorry, Officer Hot Pants is saying, is this like spiritual? Actually, we sort of answered it before. It sort of is a little bit in one sense, but it's also other things as well. Thor Nettleman is saying this game has serious Peter Molyneux vibes. He has a new game coming out tomorrow in early access for Masters of Alp. I don't know that one actually, but I don't have any high hopes for that. He hasn't made anything good since Black and White. Yes, well, he's done a lot of things actually, hasn't he? Now, at this point, I'll just go one up. And so what I want to do here is I can go across. This is still going to give a little bit, and then we can go into that location there. So at the moment, this is actually our road. So there's nothing, like they're just going to dawdle along here. Then they're going to run through this area where all of the, where it's all dangerous for them. So they're not going to like all what's going on through there. I should add ferrymen who transport the dead on lava rivers, the docks where you check them in for some fun times. Well, they've got the bus. The bus is essentially a ferryman, but it would probably have been a better choice rather than a bus driver to be the actual ferryman there. Now, one thing we want to now do is we want to sort of allocate. Is somebody when they reach this area suitable for processing, or are they not suitable? So we end up with another type of utility here, the soul dispatcher. So this is a little bit of like programming, I guess, but it's not too difficult once you get the hang of it. You can see there we've got a way in, and then we've got 3 ways out. So I'm going to go and to set up, and I really just want to have it set so we've got like a two area essentially, just going either straight ahead or heading off to the right. So I'm going to place this one in through here. So this is a soul dispatcher, and I will just build that road now to the right. Now at the moment the roads, we don't have anything that we can really sort of go and do. So let's just go and bring this road sort of straight down and then out. Alright, so we've got a road there that comes off this dispatcher, and so we now need to give it a rule as to when do we process the souls and when don't we. Now there's two things that these Omni-Sin doctors, there's a few things that they can't do. One is that they can't process saints. So if somebody is so saintly when they are resurrected that they like randomly become a saint, it means that we can't really kill them off. We have to do a different thing, and they don't have any sins, so they don't actually. So this is a waste of time. If we also have deviants aren't impacted by these buildings. So we're going to go and create rules for who goes through, and we can do all sorts of different things with this one through here. With the if we have a look at the create a rule for B, or we can create a rule for C. It might be better to create the rule for C and then have the default being the B exit. So I can say, okay, if we don't meet certain requirements, then just go straight through. And so if we go to create a rule for C, which is coming off in this direction, you can see it highlight when I do it. So if we go back into there, we've now got different different criteria of how we then go and do it. So if we've got status, like we can do it through this way as well. So if the statuses are, if whoever it is in through here is low enough to essentially be able to create a hero, then yeah, just let them straight through. Don't wait for them to be processed. So that's sort of something we can go and do. So that way we don't have to process the sin, because ultimately what we're trying to do is process them enough to get the sins down low enough to send them back up. So we can apply that one. We've got a whole heap of them though. We've got things like, for example, if they're a deviant, So when the sin reaches 50, a humu turns into a deviant. Deviant souls can't be punished in here as well. So we also have that requirement. We need to do that and that and that. So this is a saint. So souls with a low sinometer have a small chance of becoming saints. Saint humus are immune to every type of sin manipulation, receive powerful alterations. Saint souls can't be treated in hell buildings to earn currencies, and they do not earn heroes. So I need to actually get all three of those. So if I go back and say, okay, look, I'm going to, in fact, all I can just basically say, I could actually do it a different way. I can actually have it so that C becomes the default, and I'll just do it so that anything that's not, like anything that's sort of like under, actually no, that's still not going to work. I'll still do it this way. So I'll just go and apply that one for starters. So we've got that one through there. If I go back in and click on it again, I can then add another rule. So if they're heroisable, like if they're sort of low enough sin, or we can add a rule. We can go if their status is a saint. So if they're a saint, then apply that one as well, and we can add another one as well. So if their status is a deviant. So we'll just go and put all of those together. Now we can actually choose what type of deviant they are, but we don't need to do that just yet. So we'll apply those. So that's now, so C is essentially going to be any one of those criteria will now move straight through and just be sent straight back to the overworld. But anyone else will now go across into these particular buildings. So what we now need to be doing is having a look at this, at these, like where they come off the exit. So we've got the soul road, so we'll just have them sort of come back out again. And we'll move them back this way. Now at this point, we can also then think, okay, well, look, let's put another one of these in here. Now we can just keep the cycle going, or we can say, okay, look, if they're high enough up, just let them straight through. So anyone that's come through this location is already it's not a saint or a deviant. So we can just go and check and see if their sin meter is low enough, and just send them straight through. So what I'll do is I'll build a road that goes this way, and I'll build another road that goes back up this way as well. And I'll put another one of those locations back in here. So I'll just rotate around. So as we come back along this road after being processed, and so I'm just going to go and with that soul dispatcher that's been placed in there, the default will be C in this case. So we'll make that the default, and B will then be the rule. So again, we just go into here. If their status is that they have, if they're heroisable, if they're low enough sin at that point, send them straight back out again. So we'll apply that one there. That way we can end up getting more and more upgrades. And getting these upgrades initially is very, very important. So we're just going to go back across, and anyone that sort of has now is not really going to be strong enough. Actually, what I'll do is I'll just go back in, go back to the soul road. All right, and I'll just ditch that one there. If I just go and grab that one. All right, so they will then just reprocess, go back into the waiting queue, and keep on being reprocessed until their sins are low enough for them to generate the hero points. So I can actually put a specific number in there if I'm wanting to. So Cello is saying, aren't those and instead of or? They should be ors, were they? Oh, it's and. You're right. Okay, that wouldn't have worked. That's and. Yes. So you are dead right. Thank you. So or. Thank you for that. Well, that would have been. Everyone would have ended up passing through the other one. So saint apply, or add a rule. Status of deviant. Apply. So so we're just going to allow everything to run off in that direction initially. So that's will be where we are. Now some of the people. Actually, one thing I wonder if I shouldn't. This is a bit dangerous the way I've set this one up. I'm going to change this road. And we'll just go back in and build a soul road. I'm going to have it come this way. I'll just have it come back up, cross over, and then back in that way. So at the moment, that's a little loop. So we'll just go back into here and put a crossing in there, which means that if they are going that way, they'll just go straight through. If they're coming up this way, they'll end up just coming straight in around and then back through and be processed again. So this is a little bit of a convoluted sort of position, but ultimately it just means that, let's just say they're waiting in here and their sins are increasing and they end up getting a position where where they become a deviant while they're in there. It then means that would then be a constant loop. We'll end up with deviants just running straight through because they're not, and that nothing will end up happening. Now it could be a disaster. By putting it out through here, we then catch the deviant when it comes back through here and send it straight back off again. So initially we want the deviants to go down this road and we'll process them over here somewhere, I think. We could even process them a little bit further up this way if we need to. Anyway, initially that's all we need to go and do. We need to make sure that we've then got the imps. So if we go across to stuff. So I'll just try to explain this as well. Each building has got like a different person that it requires. So it needs to have an employee is missing. So this building needs an employee assigned to be functional. And this one as well is also missing. You can see there it's a secretim. I don't know if it'll tell us in through here. It's not telling us which type it is, but you can sort of see there. This is a secretarimp is the one that we need in through there, and then we've got the other ones in through this other side. We've got the satimps is what we require in through this other side as well. So when I go back into who I'm going to then be going and getting, these are my satimps in through this other side. They cost me a little bit, and they have other things that they can then go and do. So Joseph Moist has got a opportunistic unionist, so reduces the imp's wage by 10%, 20% chance to be the first in line during a strike. This one through here is minus 10% break time, so that's just purely good, which is nice. And then we've got this one through here, which is reduces the imp's wage by 10. Yep, so 5% chance to go on strike spontaneously at noon. So there's two that aren't that great. I can go and headhunt, but applications will refill when empty, so we're going to have to make use of these guys at some point. So I'll use Martin, so we'll just go and place him, we'll go and grab him and put him in there. So he'll process in that building. I'll go to Joseph, place him in there, and then we've got the secretarimps in through this other side. Now we've got compulsive betrayer, so plus 15% chance to receive one hero when going on break. That's good. So plus 10% chance of a soft failure, plus 5% chance of critical failure. I don't think that'd matter that much. Movement speed, won't worry about these. Break time. This is good. She will go on breaks a lot, so let's go and place her in there.
If that pleases you.
Now, I'm not going to build anything else. Let's just unpause, and we should then see the souls come through. So we'll just watch and make sure that everything is working. Actually, when is the next bus coming? 11 seconds with 3. We've got one. Actually, all the buses on. What's just happened here? If I just go back up into this location, the bus is just leaving here. So the bus was here, and so it's now got all the souls on board, 4 of them. And it will then leave. So that is our ferryman. And it will then arrive with the souls. Now initially the souls will be fairly benign. There won't really be any real problem. And they'll all be friendly and happy because they're just going to wander along. So now what we need to do is process these into giving us heroes. So every single soul that we process, initially I want to get as many heroes as I possibly can. I have to be mindful of the upkeep of what it's going to cost me every single day. So we pay the amount at dawn actually. So dawn events is at dawn newcomers spawn at the temple and upkeep is automatically paid at that point. See how they're now freaking out because they're near the lava. I don't like it. But it moves them quickly. So you're better off sort of diverting across the lava. Let's just pick one of these guys, if I can grab it. There we go. Napoleonus Guoca Bleeder. So this one here has got some lustful sins and other things. It's then going to hit this location. And all of these will be low enough to then go through to the waiting list. Again, they don't like the lava. Not that it'll matter that much. She's then going to process them. You can sort of see the things going on, although she's probably on a break. She's on a break. And you get this a bit. She's going to let him through to the first of the Omni-Sin Doctors. And off it goes. So they can pick up, you can see the fear meter is coming back down now after doing all that. And again, there's no urgency with these guys. So if we put fearful things around hell, that will then speed up what they're doing. This one's going to go in the opposite direction. And then these guys are waiting to do stuff. So as they come into these Omni-Sin Doctors, these are just general like GPs essentially, where they just look at all of what they have. Yeah, what have we got there? We've got the Ruler Coronator. We saw that one before. Oh, there's a Power Shrine ready. I might just quickly zip off and have a look at that one. This is important for us to pick these up. So I'm going to go and pick up this one. This is like free spells. So the Rangers have had a look at this. You can see there's a little Ranger symbol that they've had a quick look at that one through there. And we've now got Rockalicious, which is a free, this one does 5 to 20 crush damage, which is exactly what we want to kill off the two Humus that we needed to kill off. So we'll see how we go with those. Let's go back to hell again and just grab this soul. So we'll start to see the numbers. 18 is what we're looking at through there. He'll then sit him down and process these sins. So sinning is dangerous. There we are. And we can see there that fear is now through the ceiling while this is being processed. And these numbers will start to come down a little bit. He's at 68, so he's not heroisable at this stage. We need to get him under 50. But he's slowly sort of dwindling away. It does take a bit of time. 62. We're earning Purgadollars now by processing these sins. There's no point in having the third one just yet until we've got a lot more guys that we need to then process. We may need to bring a fourth one in as well at some point. So we're earning Purgadollars. He's down to 50 now, so you can see now we've got a little symbol there, which means that there's a chance that he'll become a saint. So as we as we process these sins, and we're earning our money, our Purgadollars. Now he's come out at 48. He may end up being 50 by the time he's going to pick up more sins, but will he get through? He's at 49, so he's only got one more sin, and then he's going to be, if he goes over 50, so he's passed, and then he goes up through the resurrection portal, and that's earned us a Purgadollar, a hero. So we should now end up with him coming back up through. There we go. There's our hero that's now been earned. These are all that have come through. These were actually another 4. They were already under the 50. So these are all going to be Purgadollars for us. So some of these are quite low. This one's right on 50. So this will probably be a waste of one. It's going to be a little bit up before we sort of get there. Games reminds me of Evil Genius, and it's to a degree like we're not really building things out, but we are building the same sort of complex loops through the actual building. Anyway, so we get more heroes with these. I don't know what happened to the other. Oh, the other guy must have reprocessed again and gone back through the loop. So again, we don't have a real lot that are waiting, and I've only got the one hero. So if we get maybe 3 out of this group, I would think. So as they sort of hit this top bit, we have a look and see what happens at the top of the game here as well. It's now night time, and so it's quite complex the way that everything sort of does work. But then these guys pop out of this little area here. Bang, there they go. And so they're now wandering down. There goes the king, sort of wandering back. This is Napoleon's. This is the first one. So he's now come back in as like a peasant. So he's already lost a little bit of hit points when he fell out of this area. So, oh, and this guy unfortunately has become a saint. So we now actually have somebody who well, not accidentally, but he's ultimately become a saint. So he is now a problem for us because his soul is always going to be an issue. We need to actually now process him by making him wait around in waiting lines, and that will then break his patience. So that's the only way we can actually sort of break the patience through there. So reducing the holy patience of saints to 0 is the only way to break their sainthood. Holy patience is lost when facing the worst administrative processes, waiting in a waiting line, witnessing soft and hard failures from employees, being treated in a time dilator. So there's a lot of things. I'm not going to worry about him initially. I'm just going to let him do his own thing. But unfortunately, that's the chance. There's a small chance that they will become a saint, which means that there's no sins. This one here, again, took a little bit of damage as they sort of came back out. There's another one. Now, they don't know that they're a saint. That's just that that's what they are. And so everyone's now running home. They're all heading back home. I'll just show you what happens here during the night time. So we then up with this sheboinking. Now, we want as many souls as we can get at this stage. So there's lovemaking going on inside the house. So they'll hopefully build more houses soon. There'll be some that are homeless, but there are a fair few houses around. So look at our cultists. There's one out there. We've only got one that's actually... so this cultist is here trying to drum up influence. So it's actually preaching to the people inside, and yeah, there's an influence there. So we're trying to pick up the influence levels and get more cultists ultimately. And so it'll take a bit of time. If we start zapping people or zapping things, others will see it and start believing that there's actually higher powers. So we can do that as well. But you just got to make sure people are watching. Like if I kill one of these guys, then some of these others would then become influenced. You can see there, this one, the influence is low with all of these. But this is our best way initially of trying to get more cultists. Now, cultists do a few different things. What they do is they will ultimately start to leave offerings to us back into here. And then this is actually where the cultists go to do their secret cult stuff. So they sort of end up once they become big enough, they end up sort of going into in the back of the temple. So just spreading influence. That's the only one that we've got. Very low sin count. Repent, join up. It's a great little game. There's just so much that goes on in it. It's and I don't have any direct bearing on what I can get this one to do until they become strong enough. And then eventually we can sort of do it. So this is Private Joe, spreading the word. So Authoracea is saying, for a game about worshipping hell, it seems rather colourful and cutesy. But is it about worshipping hell? I don't think it is. It's like where it's about processing sins, basically. So it's you're actually trying to do... Oh, there we go. We've got ourselves another cultist. So we've picked up a new one. That's the ranger that we had there before. That's Quark, Star Mage, Private Joe. Oh, Falcons. Okay, so the king has become a cultist as well. Cool. So we've now got even more power to do different things. So the king's heading off now. We're just coming into dawn. This is the dawn of the second day. So if we go and have a look now, there'll be all the babies that were then generated overnight. Now, they don't come out as babies, they just come out as humus. But we end up with all these new humus. So these are brand new. And these have already come in with a lot of sin, a lot of baggage. So there's already stuff actually happening with those. So if I want to sort of increase the influence, now I'm going to wait until I've actually got faith coins coming in. I've now got 7 heroes. Okay, your available heroes used to unlock technologies in the Liber Administratum. What do we want to buy? And we probably should start to buy things. The Hell Pet Show gives me faith coins, allows me to then do things on the Overworld. I can also do things, for example, like increase the power of spells gained by using power shrines. This one here is paper powered. So improve the various effects of your spells, deep pockets, increase the maximum capacity of your faith coins. That's actually probably a good one for us to get, but initially what we're going to be needing is, we know that we're going to end up with Wrath as something we need to go and do. Increase the amount of faith coins gained through offerings. This is going to be another thing, that this is the cultists. So this is actually the where the cultists sort of come through. Fanatical cultists make cultists quicker to perform their nightly activities while slowing down their influence and natural decay. So increase Humu's influence and vulnerability. So spells also generate more influence. So this is all stuff then to try to get more cultists. So depending on what our objectives are, these are one. If the sins go too far, they become demonic, and then we end up with demons. And we're going to try to avoid that initially. We're going to build it up and then release the demons. So and release them. It just means we don't have to process them. We've got a Wrathologist here. This building punishes souls, removing a great amount of wrath. Now, we should end up with a lot of wrath, ultimately. That's probably going to be the one that because of our king. This is something where we could almost just say, okay, look, that's going to be the one deviant that we're going to be focusing on. But really, as the deviants come on board, we should actually start to process them more and more. Nothing else in through here that we really need to get. We can make the bus more spacious if there was too many souls that we're processing. Everything else there is fine as well. So I think I'll go back to, the Hell Puppet Show, I don't really need it just yet, but I will need it at some point. The Wrathologist. I'm now thinking about getting some of these other ones. Increase the amount of $30 earned when punishing souls. Let's do that, get 10% extra. Just so we can get more money so we can then build more. Let's just go and spend the money there. All right, so we've now spent 5 heroes there. All right. So they're now all heading off to do their chores, their labour. We've got this is a barracks that's been built. So because the king is wrathful, he's now sort of commissioned building this particular one, which means there should be a building. There's a sawmill there as well. Again, we don't have any impact on what happens here, but usually there's a building. He's not interested in the actual building guild, but he has built the barracks. This is a good thing for us. So it means we're going to ultimately then end up with soldiers in here. Just a citizen at this stage. Oh, they're still building it. Okay, so they're just away building this particular location. So we'll look back at Hell again and just see how we're going. I've only got one person in the line. We've got people being processed, and we've got a heap of them coming back in again now, another 5. And no souls waiting. So this is fairly healthy. Now these were lowish. Yeah, these are already low. So we get them sort of running through. They do pick up sins as they go through. They're still at 50. They can still earn us heroes. We want as many of these as possible again. Yes, that one is right on 50. He'll be 51 by the time he gets around here, unfortunately. Yeah, so he's no longer... he would have qualified for that, but anyway. A few will get away. This one's on a break now. One's just waiting. She's on a break. Another 5 heroes available. So just let things sort of develop its own way at this stage. I'm really thinking about... I don't need the faith coins just yet. Let's go and analyze the stats with the sins. So you can see there over day by day, we're getting more and more sins. This is all sins. We can then sort of see the actually the cults in through there as well. Their influence is slowly increasing, which is what you'd expect. The economy has gone down because we've been building things. Got 2 extra souls there. The Overworld. This is the Humus. They went down a little bit. Alright, that's okay. We'll just go back to sins again. So we should actually have... There is a way to show... I think there's a way to show the highest sin. In fact, I'm sure there is. Oh, it's here. So this is sinometer. So this is actually telling us sort of like what the average is, average sin. So we can start to sort of pick which one we're going to focus on. And also the highest. So if we have a look at this as the highest sinner, back in through here. So at the moment, envy is high. We've also got pride is high. Wrath is only at 18, which is actually interesting. So we can sort of go and... yeah, so we actually don't need to see that. But this is... yeah, I would have thought wrath would have been the highest. So we've got actually a guard that's our most wrathful, but he's not all that wrathful. Pride is... It's interesting that pride, but still not dangerous yet. So none of these are dangerous. So this is just the sins as they pick themselves up. So we now actually do have the guards. The guards will then be sent off to kill off the this initially. What I might do is I might just go and show who we are to the locals, if there's enough of them congregating around somewhere. Probably in the farm would be the best. Just where they can see us. So if I go and pick on somebody, if I just go and zap someone, so that one there, actually I'll just make sure it's not one of our guys, Jacques Ironbelly. So if we go and zap Jacques, now Jacques has only got 15 health, and if we have a look at the zap is going to do 60 damage. So that should, if the others are sort of watching what's going on, is there enough of them seeing it? If I do that one there, who's that? Private Joe. We don't want to do that to Private Joe. Private Joe is too important. Maybe this one here. Colette Clever Farts. Only got 10 health. Well, you can't be walking around with only 10 health. Oh, there's 2 we killed off. Now that should, and unfortunately Private Joe's already got, like, the influence. It didn't actually impact their influence at all. Anyway, there's 2 more souls. So we're on our way if we look at the objectives. We've got 6, actually 2 that we've terminated. So that's sort of what we're ultimately going to have to do now. You can see we're down to 80 of the points. I forgot that Zap actually went a little bit further out than what we were there. So that's the only thing we can really do on the above world. But then, unfortunately, there just wasn't enough watching to see what was going on. Now we've got the heroes. The king just sort of sits around doing nothing much, just sort of giving instructions as to what to do. So it prioritises defence more than anything. Yeah, warmongering. So it will go off and do things. Alright, we're coming into the second day now. Just go back to hell again. Getting a bit of a line up there. Still not worth really getting any more of these Omni-Sin Doctors just yet. Tempted to get the Hell Puppet Show. There's some offerings. You've got 5 faith coins. So this is where the cultists come basically at dawn and give us an offering. So I'll take that. That's just this is my only real way of getting faith coins initially. But that's where the cultists. We just need to get the cultists up and as strong as we possibly can. At least the kings are cultists as well. Heading into night time again, so they'll go off and again create more humus. I've only got 53 of them. We've got 9 souls, so we've got 7 of these. Again, I'll just keep an eye on the sins. These aren't really going up by that much. So I think I'll just run the game forward a little bit and see what we end up with. How many currencies are there in the game? Well, there's the main currency for building things and for paying your dues. There's heroes for unlocking things like tech points. Oh, here we go. Sorry, we've got a bit going on. Warband going to war, and we now have bloodshed. So we may end up with more. I'll just quickly go have a look. And then there's also faith coins, which is what we used for using these sorts of things. So if I go back up to the combat should be up this way. Yep. So humus are being attacked. So we've got warglings are now coming back through. And so what we'll find is that these wargs from that location are attacking the soldiers that we had in through here. And so they're now coming back through. There is actually bodies on the ground. This is Brunhild has actually just been killed as one of the soldiers. So, and again, this all counts for our objectives. She didn't count there. Maybe it's only just happened. But I thought that if the wargs killed things, it helps us. Just go back to normal speed. Now the arrows that you see through here are being fired from these guys. And we better just quickly see who's who. Got Quark there. Star Mage is there as well. Falcon's back there. And Private Joe back at home as well. So so there's 2 named characters attacking these wargs. All right, all of those being killed, and now it's attacking the archers. They got them all. They didn't have enough to kill this thing off. Yeah, there we go. So we've got 8 of the 300 now. So. Oh, now they are. Yeah, so the archers are now destroying the warg lair. I need to get more cultists from inside town because these guys don't really help. We need to get more humus though on the actual world itself. We now have more than what we can process through the bus. Now that should leave a reward for us at the end of this. That's now just an open area that can be it's a collapsed warg lair. Usually when you destroy that, you end up with a treasure. And this is things still building up so we can get the next power, the next of these Rockaliciouses. There it is. So that's the so break it to obtain a reward. Now to break it, I might just use a zap again as well. We're going to be using these a lot. What do we get this time? Heroes. So we picked up a few heroes there. That's worth it. We're down to 65 faith coins now. So it's now coming into dawn. Let's have a quick look back at the town. So only got the 4 cultists. There's only 2 of them that are actually operating, including the king. And then we'll just wait for the others now to bring back more faith coins. So more being born. So up to 53, which is good. Got 12 souls now being processed. That may end up being a bit too many. So just sort of manage the flow. No faith coins were left yet. So he's going to bring his faith coins with him. Warband going to war again, and we do have the reward chest, which we did find. So that was good, and warband going to war. So one barrack sent 6 soldiers to form a warband, 6 are still alive. So this is, if we go and have a look and see where they are, these are now wandering back off. Now what there is, this is actually back with another of the ranger bands. So the rangers are now still operating in through here. Now who do we have? But yeah, no, this is a different ranger group, and now they've gone off. I thought that they were going to be attacking the war camp that was back over here. They've found something else. What's that? There's another chest. A few chests around the place. I don't know what they've actually found. Anyway, that's I won't open this chest up just yet. I don't know what they're going to be attacking. They're looking at this, but there's nothing to attack there. There's that. Oh, another war glare. This is a level 2. Maybe that's what they're looking at. If we have a look at the barracks, the barracks should then send off the troops. Let's go back into hell and have a look. See, we've now got a big list of a big queue of people that are in here. So we'll get another Omnisin Doctor. Alright, so it's going to be the way in. So that's all looking the right way, and then this one just comes back out. And then heads back through the other process. All right, that works. Just need to get another imp.
Delighted, I will try.
All right, so when we go back in there again, there'll now be a new group. Some of them are expensive, since already level 3. That's what they have. Okay, we'll just unpause and let everything sort of just keep on thumping along. So again, her break time is a pain in the bum because she slows everything right down. Now with the, we still don't have any deviants yet. We'll start to see the deviant count come up when the sin meter becomes too high. Now Wrath has actually hit the lead. I think we might prepare for Wrath because we are going to be sort of needing to deal with that one. So we'll, I'll process that over here. I think all of any deviant will actually process. We do have this really interesting corrupt tiles in through here. I don't know how I want to use that yet. Another thing is to process the Wrath right at the very, very start. We've got a big open area in here. I might do that here. And just leave this where that is, but I don't know, this is certainly usable. The other thing we've got is the the Hell Pet show as well. We do want to be sort of making use of that. I'm not sure who I want to actually have go off into that just yet. Well, let's I can even put a fourth one of those in there. I might just process it here while we're doing things. I won't have a queue for that. We'll just have it so that it just goes off and then sort of comes back in again. Yeah, let's just pop it in here. Yeah, it's going to probably be wanting to sort of have it come off at this location here. So if we go back into the utilities, the Soul Dispatcher, and again just rotate it around so that we come back in off this other side. And I'll do, well, Roth is going to be our main one anyway, so I'll just have it go straight ahead. I think that'll be the way to do it. And so in this case, yeah, we're hearing the others coming through. So the default is going to be to go off to the left, which is A. So the fallback exit is A anyway. For B, we're just going to create a rule set here where the status is it's going to be a deviant, a cultist, actually not a cultist, a deviant, which is this one here, in Wrath. So we then choose which sin it's going to be. So we just go, it's going to be a Wrathful deviant. If it's a Wrathful deviant, move forward into this other location. We'll apply that. And so that's going to be where the Wrathful deviants end up going. And we want it to still loop back again to end up with back on this road over here. So let's go now into the get the Wrathologist. So we'll end up needing all of these at some point. Now the other thing is we've got a lot of souls in the cemetery. At the moment, I don't mind there being extras there. If they rot, they end up becoming zombies. I think I'll just let that happen. We've got a lot of souls now in hell that we're sort of trying to process. Alright, so we've got, what have we got there? This is reward chest, so another one. Looks like we've actually destroyed something else. So I think this is, we're seeing the souls coming in because of the soldiers are dying. So we've got more there. I can actually get even more of this, earn even more money, which I think is worth doing because that's really also a key with what we're actually up to. We've still got 5, but let's now just use this Wrathologist. Go back into the buildings, and so we now have the Wrathologist here for 2,500. We can afford it. So big building, and just move it off this way, I think. Now, what does this one require? It's another Sat Imp. So we'll just go and get the road. And we want to put a crossroad there. So once it's finished there, we want it to then head back in around this loop again to keep on processing. Like if it's then low enough, if its deviancy is then sort of low enough, it will then sort of do the other bits and pieces. Now, who have we got in here? We've got reduces the imp's wage, it goes on strike. So this one's cheapish, even though it's level 2. This one here is a simpleton. And then this one here is also going to go on strike. It's only level 1.
We're going to have absolutely, I'm ready.
So we're getting close now to our limits. we will need him eventually, just not yet. Wow, it's a big long line there. Might just pause it and put another one of these doctors in, although I can't really afford it just yet. Well, they are going to generate the money. So as the sins accrue, I should have not bothered getting that just yet. I should have waited. How many got? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 5. I'm going to have to move this thing up. I'll just pause this on and just do the move. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's going to have to go up. If I do it like that. That'll allow me to get a fourth one in that little rung there. So all of what we're doing is still actually working there. Yep, so we'll get the next Omnisin Doctor in there. Now, if we don't generate enough, which I'm sure we will, so I don't think we have to worry about this. Except I've got to employ another one. What I can do is I can grab this guy from here, who doesn't have a job just yet. I'm going to pick him up and put him in there.
Yay, work.
So we'll leave him in there. Soul Road. Right, that gives me a fourth one. So we'll start to process these souls a bit faster. As long as she keeps on working. Come on, let him through. He's waiting. Now, if we can get a saint in a line like this, it will start to break them down. So we could allow saints to sit inside this line. It's just that they waste the time of the doctors. Now we need to. We've got now earned enough to pay for what we have to do in the next dawn. So have a look at our guys. See who's preaching. Here they are. Who's that? Is that Falcons? That's the king. It should be Private Joe as well. Star Mage going back home. Falcons. Oh, Private Joe's there as well. Look, we've got pictures. Join us. So they're spreading influence. Let's see if they've left anything from the previous day. Yeah, still nothing there from that other day. Need more cultists. Move off to another house. Oh, here we go. Actually, now we've got Quarker's now in here from his ranger duties. He's come back to the base. Reward chest. Okay, this is back up in here. Oh, this is a Gwarker. Okay, they did actually attack a Gwarker location. A Gwar camp. So we did actually get another loot there. Oh, we got disease. So we have a bit of a look and see. So we've now got disease that's broken out through here, but the king doesn't like doctors. So so there's somebody with disease in through there. We won't worry too much about it. The warband is going. Actually, we've got all the souls have now been processed back into where they were. 8 soldiers are now being moved off. and we've got the reward chest as well. So we'll just wait for the disease to run its course. So Private Jess saying, I'm not just there, I'm the leader of the cult. Does it say something? Maybe I can't... It's very lustful. Do the cults have a leader? Here we go, we get a bit of a report. So, yeah, we did influence some, we did generate 89 influence, so we'll slowly sort of get there, I think. There's no believers yet. Which is leaching out the body politic, burn them. Well, when the doctors come, we are processing enough of the souls that they're not rotting away, which is actually, in one sense, for the game is a good thing, but we don't mind if we end up with zombies. Yes, they're another camp. They're looking over here. Some interest at this war camp. So they're now scouting that one out. When we scout it out properly, this will then sort of unfurl, I think. This is the big war camp. This is where the raids will then sort of come from. So they'll move off very, very soon to attack us. And then this thing here, this is sort of like an end of game type stuff. We've got a long way off before the Pillar of Atonement sort of kicks in. Now that one there is still there. There's an active war camp there. Alright, we'll just let everything sort of play itself out. Still no faith coins. Spreading the disease. Yeah, disease inflicts damage over time. May contaminate nearby humors. So this one here is just, oh wow, that's a strong one. Penelope Stump. She's spreading her disease everywhere. So look back at hell. So we're slowly sort of processing these. We may need to get a fifth location around the corner here. Anyway, we're generating money. So we just got to let that sort of now run its course. 32, yeah, it is increasing. Envy is going up as well. Is this envy? Yeah, that was envy as well. Don't know how I want to use that yet. How much more space have I got in here? You know, I could squeeze another one in there. I could actually do that. I'll let it go for a little bit longer before we sort of start to look at doing that. So they're now fearful. What's this one down to? 65. So these will all just keep on looping back because we're trying to get the heroes. So I don't mind how many souls stick around in here as long as we process them properly. So very few are making it through. That one's 48, so you can go through and generate a hero for us. This one's at 72, so you'll need to be processed a bit more. The Wrath will be processed down anyway, like so this will actually be distilled down. Now, what's happened here? Missing operator. Oh yeah, it's okay. We've got bloodshed is occurring in through here. So we're now getting more, the walkers are now killing off our soldiers. So we've got another big group of soldiers. And hopefully our guys aren't here. Well, there's Star Mage. There's Quark. Falcon's back up there, and then Private Joe in the farmland. So luckily they're not part of that little group that was hitting that Gwar camp. So these guys are going to be smashed by the walkers. They've all gone. Alright, so we've now got a lot of souls in the cemetery. And so the bus boat can only take 5 at a time. And so because our king is aggressive and wanting to push the soldiers out to do things, he's actually destroying the humus that are working for him. What have we got building in here? This is a Builder's Guild. Yeah, this will actually then make building the city a bit better. Like, he doesn't like doing this, but he's going to have to do it. And he's going to have to get more humus coming through. I've picked up a second one of those, which is good. I could help them. I could zap. Do we have any more faith coins? Nope, still nothing there. I'm going to have to get the Hell Puppet Show, I think, and start to process. Now the souls, if they wander around in the cemetery for too long, they become they've got a corruption side of things where they over here, and so this is contamination. This corpse is burned and won't propagate disease to nearby humus. Okay, so that one's. This one here has got. This is the locate corpse. And so this one can come back as a zombie if this soul rot goes too high. So that's interesting. I didn't realize that if they got burnt, it stopped the soul rot. That's really, really cool. This one here has then got, this is contamination. So if soul rot exceeds this threshold, the corpse becomes contagious and may propagate disease to nearby humus. And then if it gets to this one here, they become zombies. So as the soul rot goes up, it's going to be interesting to see what actually does happen here. Yeah, death by spit roasting through here. This one through here. So that one doesn't have. That one's also was burnt. That one was also burnt. Yeah, transformation blocked. I didn't realize that that's what happened with it. That is interesting. So these are going to, because they're wandering around in here, waiting for the bus to arrive. They're not being processed fast enough. I think I was sort of tempted to just let that one go, but I am worried about only having 45 souls. Let's go back and start to get more faith coins just so we can sort of do more things. So the Hell Pet Show is really the way that we end up doing that one. So this one generates a small amount of faith coins with each work cycle. So we'll go and grab that one. And we have enough here at this point in time to go and build one of these. So we'll just go back to Hell. And I think I'll build it right at the very, very start. I'm not sure how I can do it so that if there's, like, you know, just to sort of have them just shuffle straight through. What I'll do is I'll just build it straight off here and just sort of see how it works. So if we just go back into buildings, and we may have to change this one around. So we've now got the Hell Pet Show in here. So this building treats souls and generates a small amount of faith coins with each work cycle. So we're going to need to get another sat imp in through this other side as well. So I'll just bring this, whoops, wrong one. Pause it there for a second while we just do this. Just want to see what happens with this. if we end up with a big line of people, if that's the case, I'm going to need to filter certain types of people in so that there's just not too many of them coming through. Get the road built as well. And then just continues on around the corner. This is, I'll probably end up repositioning this, but just for now, this is what we'll end up doing. And so we'll just go back to get another worker. Oh, this is a work imp. Is that what we need here? Yeah, work imp here. So different type of imp. Okay, we've got plus 100 P, poker points. That's actually not bad. It's not bad at all, actually. Let's go that way.
Start coming, right away.
So what's supposed to happen here is that it's supposed to be 50-50. Yeah, this is not what we want. So it's going to be too long. Now I sort of have to now wait. So I'll have some sort of criteria for moving them through. So this guy's now sort of giving them a Punch and Judy show, and we're earning the faith coins. Now I don't need very many of these. I'll just let this one get processed and then we'll move it off. Actually, I'll process all three of these and then we'll sort of figure out a better way of doing this. So we're picking up a little bit each time. Don't know if this changes their influence. Look at the wrath. It's starting to pick up. This is an old soldier. Death by spit roasting. Until we get the sin coming through here, there's no real point in putting anyone in that building. We'll just process it on a need basis. Actually, that's not too bad at this stage. I might just leave it there, but ultimately we'll end up with some sort of way of controlling who's going to be processed. Saint on the rise. Wow, there's 8 of them. Need to make a waiting line just for the saints. We've got too many of them. Like, that's a big percentage of our population now. So it's going through the night time now. The game gets harder and harder just because of the sins that come in. What I will do now is just remove this, and I'll push this one back a little bit. So, do I want to still... Like, he's processing them pretty fast, so I think I'll just leave him. I won't actually give any sort of criteria at this stage as to how to split them off at this point in time. See, if I have a saint waiting in here, that's not a bad thing. I might let saints go through. Let's just do that one. That way the saints are waiting in this long line, and even though they don't earn us any money, it does start to break them down. We need to start to process them. Began saying, seems like a cool game to switch things up, but I'm not sure how much replay value there'd be. There's actually heaps, believe it or not. There's actually heaps and heaps of replay value, because every single time you play it, and I'm going to have to get going in a minute, I might just do a quick summary in that case, and just go through why there is replay value. All the way through this, what we're trying to do is, at the moment, build up our population, because our objective is, we've got 27, we're 10% of the way through there with terminating the humus. So this is our current objective that we have to then go and do with the with this particular map. But other maps have got completely different ones. Like if I go through, we've got destroy humu buildings and crush humus as well. So we've got we haven't done any crush, but I'm getting the spells ready to do that one. So we'll be able to sort of ultimately then do the crush of the humans. Every single objective you end up getting changes the complexion of the game in a lot of ways, and also the random terrain essentially gives different abilities where you may then decide, oh look, I'm going to change. Like I can change the layout of hell very, very quickly if I need to, if I'm finding that it's just not quite working for me. But at the moment, it's actually functional. But our objective at the moment is to build up the humus and to get as many of these heroes as we possibly can in through here. But we don't want to have too many saints. We ultimately do want to end up with a few of the deviants as well, like just so we can sort of start to process them through here as well, so we can just end up with more and more stuff going on. So Gulu Fighting is saying there's some very fun perverse incentives that give the game depth. Yeah, absolutely. And I know I wouldn't play the way Daz is playing, so maybe the next mission I'll figure out something new. Yeah, it's one of these things where I'll just save where I am, and if I just go back out to the main menu, and I can give up the mandate at any point in time. So the sandbox does give an idea as to just how diverse the game can actually ultimately be. Each world has got its own sort of things that happen in it. So the worlds are like the layout remains the same, but the positioning of all the elements is random. So if you play, Volcano World one, like if I go and play this one here, Deadlands, for example, this one here promotes disease. So this is like a if I go and I'll just start one up so you can sort of see it. Like if I go into and choose Deadlands as my world, just go to confirm. For the layout, I can then sort of choose what's going to happen on the world. And so this is actually the random stuff that then is placed onto it. So I've got like war camps, I've got power shrines. If there's stuff I don't want, I can sort of change the probability to off, or to have maximum, whatever it might be that we sort of want to actually have going on. So I do actually have these different components, and even with hell itself, we then actually have different aspects of what can then be sort of shown or presented in hell, like those corrupt tiles that we've got on our current one. It's just randomly placed. Let's go and throw heaps of them in there as an example. There's all sorts of different stuff in through there. We'll just go confirm. The modifiers, and through this other side, we can then sort of set things up of how we want the like things that will actually then impact the actual world itself. So hostiles, we can actually have increase the number of war camps in the overworld. The feral walkers, they do sort of more damage. You've got the mutated wargs, you've got demon lords. So the demons, when the demons do come, they sort of can be ending up different things. The sin spawns come from the demons, and then we've got evil dead. Let's just go and throw that in there as well. Just go and confirm. And so these are all modifiers and things, and then we've got role models as well, where we can sort of, we probably would start that one off ourselves anyway, but if we go with, I'll just throw that one in there for now. So I'll just go and confirm. So we've now sort of got like a random world. If we just go and play it, it's going to be like the actual world itself will be full of swamps and disease. And again, I can just change all the random stuff. But the objectives ultimately, when we play the mandates, one objective can be to make it as pleasant for the humans as possible. Another one can be to make it as aggressive as possible for the humans. And so this particular world, if we go and have a look at it, we've still got the same, like we've got the temple is always going to be the same, but then the layout of where things actually are. So what have we got there? We've got a fishing village which has been spawned in. We've got still got the cemetery there, of course. There's the sawmill to give production for building things. So we're not using a farm at this point in time. So but it'll be up to the king as to what they then go and build. And so we're sort of in this little outcrop of land, and then back over around the actual world itself, we then actually have like different locations where ultimately we have to then sort of go and sort of and check things out. There's a core camp up the top. So these are things, again, the humus will then sort of chop and change depending on what they end up wanting to do. Another wall camp there. This is a much bigger world than the one that we're currently playing. But just the random, like there's some wargs. The pillars of atonement is sort of like an end game aspect. You know, if you take too long on a world, you can turn that off as well. It's just lots and lots of stuff. These are the sort of spells that you can then go and pick up. Power Shrine with Zap, which is what we've currently got anyway. It's a really good game. Like it's on the Overworld. You know, it really comes down to what the king wants. And so if you don't like the king, you just kill the king and get a new king, and then you get a whole other set of objectives. If I unpause this one for a second. This one coming to be the queen. Yep. So aspirant queen. And so we'll see what she ends up doing. But if we don't like it, we can just get rid of her, you know, through spells. But and even in hell itself, like we'll just see what she ends up being. So at the moment, there's no priorities. So whoever the monarch is has a massive bearing on what's going on. This one's a shrewd politician who has got this is perfect balance. And so this is a good one to have just in general. But let's just say she ends up becoming a deviant in something. She'll end up really changing the whole complexion of what is going on. I can't really I don't have the aggressive stuff to get her to be killed at this stage. But I could kill her off and then get another one. But she's actually, from a humu perspective, she's awesome because she's going to ultimately make really wise decisions about what to build. In the one that we're playing, we've got a wrathful character is going and doing it. We'll just go back to hell. So this is now bringing the souls back into hell. And again, the layout will be different. There's some of those corrupt tiles. We've got other locations here that we can then sort of go and pick up as well, if we needed to sort of go and push these things. It's a dream studio. So we can sort of make use of these old buildings that are in hell as well. There's a heap of stuff. It's a bigger area. So that one is a confined blind seer, devour specific types of souls in exchange for a reward. So we can sort of end up feeding deviants in, for example, and then picking up different other rewards. There's heaps of stuff. It's just, I don't know, there's just so many. Every time you play it feels like, I guess in some ways you're still processing initially the same way, but you ultimately end up finding all sorts of different ways of playing it. And the other thing with the game as well, if I just go back out to the main menu, is the actual campaign is also really quite interesting, and that is very story driven. So at the moment, you need to do these different things before you end up, to unlock certain stuff. And I've had a lot of fun just playing these, to be honest. Like just the actual missions themselves, it's still the same approach as with the other ones. It's a bit like doing a mandate, but with a few extra story elements thrown in. Anyway, guys, I'm going to have to get going. So Quiffs is saying, I just started the game and I'm on mission 4 in the campaign. Should I just finish the campaign or just get to the sandbox? I really like the challenges, the mandates. Sorry, I've just quit out. The mandates I do find interesting because they're just so different. Every single one of them is just so different. So, but yeah, essentially the campaigns are the tutorials, I think. So I think I'm up to 5 at this stage. So Guerrilla Fighting, so yeah, Mission 5 teaches you about the cultists, so you might want to play it. Yeah, the cultists are interesting. So so Adrian's in saying how they thought of making bureaucracy and waiting that can break a person like in the real world. Yes. Anyway, guys, I'm going to have to leave it here. So thanks for watching, and I'll be back again tomorrow. And we may keep on playing this one. Actually, it's I really love this game. I've had so much fun with it. I've had it for like well before release, and yeah, thoroughly enjoying it. Anyway, I'll catch you guys later.